Was that 20? I don't think it was 20.
I don't know.
No, there's a whole lot of shit in here that I'm not going to look at.
All right, here we go.
Are you going live?
Yeah. Welcome to a Misanthropic Detour. I'm Derek Hutchison.
And I'm Benton Lawson.
And sometimes it takes a wrong turn
to get to the right place.
Welcome to a Misanthropic Detour right here on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube Live. I am Derek Hutchison. This is Benton Lawson, and we are on a wrong turn. No, that's not true, is it? we have taken a wrong turn.
Well, let's look at it this way.
Okay.
I'm feeling it's a wrong turn by this adult beverage I'm having right at the moment.
At the moment. We want to welcome you listening to a Misanthropic Detour. For those of you who've listened before, you know what you're in for. For those of you who haven't, this is a podcast that we talk about things that have happened in our lives that have increased our misanthropy, decreased our misanthropy, some things that make us happy, some things that have made us sad. This is mile marker number 3.
Caused.
There you go.
Yeah.
Has caused our misanthropy. For those of you who don't know what misanthropy is, look it up.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend. Under M, we break down the show into 2 or 3 different sections. We talk about things that make us excited, things that just really, really get on our nerves. How has your week been?
My week hasn't been too bad.
Okay.
At work.
Okay.
Just dealing with what we drove through to get here.
You got to tell them.
Has been my misanthropy.
Your misanthropy. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Is bad.
It is bad.
It is bad.
It's nobody's fault necessarily.
Right.
I mean, we had a blizzard and snow melts, and when you have a dirt driveway, it turns into mud. And you'd think a redneck from Georgia would appreciate it, but I'm 52. I'm tired of mud.
That's a lot of mud.
I'd like for somebody to pay.
It's a lot. It's a lot of mud. What it took to get to the studio was something.
What do you think it would cost to pave 200 yards of dirt driveway?
$1,200. No, $12,000.
I'll bet you it's $25,000.
$25,000? No kidding.
I bet. Yeah. Well, that's maybe 20.
Yeah,
I bet.
That's not good.
Well, I'm not doing it. I'm just
going to have to go with crushed rock.
Hey, look, there's 35 acres. I'm just going to find a new path. I'll just take a new path in each time, wear a little grass down.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
I want to go back just a second before we went live. I was a tad bit offended, just a tad bit.
Uh-oh.
You were looking on the computer, and
are you saying that I didn't think you were intelligent enough to know the answer to the questions?
That was the feeling that I got. That was the fit. That was the mojo that was going on.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell my wife that I get in serious trouble for.
Okay,
that's just in your head.
That's all in my head.
That's in your head.
I answered a question correctly. That obviously you were surprised.
I was. It was like an obscure quote I'd never heard before, which doesn't mean anything. All I can do is read magazines, so I'm not all that intelligent anyway. When I was little, I used to read the TV Guide. That was about the extent of my reading.
Really?
Yeah. But no, it was a quote I'd never heard from a very famous person. This person is actually on Currency. And as soon as I ended the quote, Derek blurted out his name, and I was like, damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I think it was the initial reaction, just the
honest to God, I didn't think anybody would know. I just figured somebody had pulled this crap out of one of the thousands of writings of Benjamin Franklin and stuck it on today's, top 20 hit list for news or quotes or whatever.
Actually, for those of you who do listen and watch A Misanthropic Detour, last mile marker, you saw that I had a book, Patriot's Handbook.
Yep.
Believe it or not, that quote is in the book. So
So you kind of cheated.
no, I didn't cheat. It was retention.
You've read this book many times.
It was retention. Anyway,
well, that's what people smell.
Anyway,
That's why I'm on this side.
that's what happened before the show started. Hey, what's going on this week? I'm going to share this with you, and you're not going to. But I've been thinking about this ever since I found this out yesterday, and I know you're just going to think that this is garbage. You're going to say, I don't even know why you're bringing this up.
Again,
but
that's in your head.
But it's sad. But part of it, though, it makes me feel as if you would be an incredible part of this. I think it was. I'm just 2 words: treasure hunting. You just come across to me as a treasure hunter, but you're not.
No.
Oh, okay. Then none of this really matters.
It depends on what the treasure is.
Okay, so I'm talking about A Curse of Oak Island. The Curse of Oak Island. You ever seen that?
Nope.
Oh man,
I heard about it, and actually heard about the guy who was 95 years old.
And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a little shout out to Dan Blankenship, 95 years old,
died
on Sunday.
Yeah, passed away.
Here's the thing, though, and you can email us at amisanthropicdetour@gmail.com, care of Benton Lawson. I'm going to say this, and it's probably pretty bad, but the whole curse is this: that 7 people have to die before the treasure can be found, and 6 had died.
And so he's the 7th.
So in a way, maybe Dan is helping out. I don't know. You should watch it. You should watch. They had that on, and then last night, right after that, World War II. They're looking for I don't know what it is. I can't remember his name. Hoshimada's. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Looking for his treasure. It's absolutely fantastic. They're in Japan. They're looking for it. You should see it. History Channel. Check it out. Curse of Oak Island, World War II, Civil War. They're all looking for gold. That would change my misanthropy a little bit.
I'll check it out.
You should. You should check it out. But now you're like 6 seasons behind.
That's all right. I need something to binge watch.
Okay. Are you a binge watcher?
Oh, if it's good, yeah.
So what do you binge watch?
I binged.
You binged?
Watched.
You binged or watched?
I binge watched.
You binge watched?
Jack Ryan.
Oh, is that good? I don't have Amazon.
It's all right. When I started the first episode, I'm like, yeah,
no, it's no good.
It's no good. Well, the last Jack Ryan was Chris Pine.
That's right.
It was Jack Ryan. I don't know, research something, whatever.
Yeah.
With,
I saw that. I didn't like Chris Pine as Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Chris Pine, Keira Knightley.
Yeah, it's no good.
Dances with Wolves boy.
Kevin Costner.
Field of Dreams, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Costner.
Yeah, so when this one came out, of course, I had seen 13 Hours.
Right.
Which had Krasinski, is that his name?
John Krasinski.
Yep. And I was like, hey, it might be pretty good.
Obviously, you've never seen The Office.
I have seen The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yeah. Well,
Jim Halpert.
Yeah, different character.
Okay. Obviously. Yeah.
And so it just took a really long time to get started.
Yeah.
And so I thought, yeah, whatever. Well, I went back.
Yep.
And started it again. And about 45 seconds later, you can't turn it off.
I've got to see it.
You know, it took that long to get into it.
Yeah.
So you could see what happened. And there's only 7 episodes or 8 episodes, which kind of sucks because you can binge watch it in a day.
Yep.
There's 44 minutes. I mean, per episode, there's not a whole lot to it.
But John Krasinski, he was good in 13 Hours.
He was.
He was good in 13 Hours. I liked him in 13. You know what I watched the other day? Watched it again for like the 9th time. American Sniper.
Yep. It's going to be hard for me to watch American Sniper again.
Why?
because of A Star Is Born.
That's true. That's absolutely true. The
And
Academy Award
and
winner,
every
Bradley
time
Cooper.
dude, every time I see him, all I think of is
Him and Lady Gaga.
sha-la-la-la-la,
Did you watch
la-la-la,
him on the Oscars?
sha-la-la-la. I'm like, dude, come on. No, I didn't watch him because all I heard about was how he was basically, making sex eyes at
That
Lady Gaga.
that's it. Lady Gaga. They won the Academy Award, I think. For A
She's
Star Is
hard to
Born.
look at for me anyway, but
It's not Chris Christopherson or Barbara Streisand. That's for sure.
no.
It's not. It's not the Star Is Born that we remember.
Nope. Well, nothing is what we remember.
No.
Nobody acts like we remember. Nobody behaves like we remember.
So
Nobody votes like we remember.
nope. That's exactly right. So is that all you binge watch? Are you a binge watcher?
I can't remember. Oh, we binge watched The Rookie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good show. I mean, it's really cheeseball.
Yeah.
Castle was pretty cheesy, but it was, it wasn't quite that bad.
Is that the guy from Castle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
From Firefly.
No.
Have you ever seen Firefly?
Never. I've never seen Firefly.
Okay, well, you'll need to watch Firefly because there's a huge cult following.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then yeah.
There was only one. There was only one season.
Well,
but there were like 14 episodes.
I've heard Sheldon on Big Bang Theory talk about Firefly.
Yes.
And he was sure he was so upset when they guessed.
Dude, seriously, I'd never even heard of it. I didn't know anything about it. One of the guys I worked with,
yeah,
he had all these little things at the bottom of his emails about Serenity and all this other crap. And I'm like, dude, what is that? And so he brings me the DVDs to watch. I'm like, got it. I got it. So I'm like, okay, are there any more seasons? Nope. Fox didn't pick it back up. And so
one season.
And of course,
so what happens with it? So everybody they were into it.
They were into it, and people went ape shit, and they were into it so bad, that they had to come out and make a movie to kind of,
Oh, they made a movie?
Yeah, to bring it all full circle, so that people weren't so disgusted with Fox, and it's called Serenity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Castle, you've seen Castle, right?
I've seen bits and pieces of Castle.
So the cool thing about Castle is he would bring those characters from Firefly in to play different people in the episodes of Castle. So, you're watching Castle and all of a sudden you're like, hey, that's, so-and-so from Firefly, which was pretty cool. But it was, it was serious.
So would you consider yourself then a Firefly fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the show.
Of the 1 year.
Of the 1 year, yep.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
I have no idea what it was about at all.
So it's basically
Is it sci-fi? What is it?
Yes, it's science fiction. Civilization has ended up after all these wars.
Okay.
There's a great battle at the end for control. And it's the brown coats and I'm not a giant fan, so I can't remember everybody.
Okay.
Who their opposition was. I'll have to look it up right quick, and then I'll feel stupid about it. Alliance just came to me. So anyway, after all these battles, the Alliance ends up in control of government. And so, the Earth is pretty much trashed. So they go to these outer moons and they terraform them.
Okay.
Okay. And they change the atmosphere so that people can inhabit these planets and live safely. And so it's all about, this dude's struggle with the Alliance and he's always going to be the rebel, and he's always going to be chased by the government because the government screwed him over, and he was a sergeant or whatever for these brown coats in the resistance. And it's just their adventures as they travel around. And so what ends up is that there's two civilizations that survive. There's, people who speak English, and there's people who speak Chinese. So it was basically the U.S. and China
Yeah.
killed everybody else, and it was kind of a mixture of both who survived. So
Okay.
throughout the entire series, they're speaking English, and all of a sudden, poof, they'll start speaking in Chinese, and you're like, what the hell? But that's just what's happened over civilization. You know, those were the two main superpowers that made it.
So if I give you a quote, do you think you can tell me the character?
Maybe,
All
maybe.
right, you know what? We're gonna play this quiz. We're gonna play this quiz right now.
I mean, I'm not a super fan.
All right.
You know, I've watched it a few times.
We've only got 4 minutes here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Also, I can kill you with my brain.
I don't know if it's not Mal or
Okay, how about this one?
or Jane.
I'll be in my bunk.
That's Jane.
Jane?
Yeah.
All right, Jane. Next. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. No?
Mal.
Mao. How do you spell that?
M-A-L.
M-A-L?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, how about this one? Yes, I've read a poem. Try not to faint.
That's Mal again.
There are only 2 people in this show. My food is problematic.
I don't know that one.
Okay. Big damn heroes, sir.
Jane.
Jane?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's Chloe.
If you take sexual advantage of her, you're going to burn in a very special level of hell, a level they reserve for child molesters and people who talk at the theater.
That's Book.
Book said that.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Captain Tight Pants. Yes, sir. Captain Tight Pants. I don't know. All right. How about this one? I aim to misbehave.
Oh God, that's somebody has that on their car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think my daughter has that on. Has a
Really?
sticker on her car. Yeah.
But we don't know who it is. Okay. How about that?
I can't.
This
remember.
must be what going mad feels like.
I don't, dude. Every show is just nothing but one-liners, so I can't tell you.
That's why I never kiss him on the mouth.
Oh, that's God, what is her name? Hang on.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
It's Anara.
Anara.
Yeah, I-N-A-R-A.
I-N-A-R-A.
A-R-A. Yeah, and Mal, M-A-L. It's Malcolm Reynolds is his name.
Yes, Malcolm Reynolds. It sounds like something this crew can handle. I can't guarantee they'll handle it particularly well, but
I don't know.
Hey, I've been in a firefight before. Well, I was in a fire. Actually, I was fired from a fry cook opportunity. What kind of show is
That
this?
sounds like Jane. I'm telling you, it's a good show.
Why was it only on 1 year?
You like science fiction. That's what nobody could figure out. Dude, every year at Comic-Con, people are dressed up like the characters of the show. Like
Really?
Oh yeah. Like
and the last one is everything's shiny, Captain, not to fret.
That's Kaylee.
Kaylee.
Yep.
How do you spell that?
Let's see.
Yeah, right.
Kaylee.
You got 3 of them right.
Very good.
You got Malcolm Reynolds said, yes, I've read a poem, try not to faint.
Right.
You've got If You Take You Sexual Advantage of Her by Shepard Book.
That's Book.
And Kaylee Fry said, everything's shiny, Captain. Not
She says shiny a lot.
Does she say shiny a lot?
Yeah, shiny is their, some word they made up for good.
I will have to check that out. So would you call it a space show? Is it?
It's sci-fi.
It's sci-fi.
And yes, it's all about space because they're flying on
They're flying on a
Firefly class spaceship.
That's where the name comes from, Firefly.
Yeah. And it looks like, honest to God,
a firefly.
It looks interestingly enough like a
Interestingly enough, not a lot of people know what those look like.
I know. We used to hit them with oars.
Of course, in Indiana, we call them lightning bugs.
And we did too.
Lightning bugs. We used to catch them, pinch their tails off right when they, and then stick them to our matchbox cars for headlights.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. We just hit them with oars.
No, we'd catch them.
Watch 'em
And
fly
as soon as they
across the
light up,
driveway.
you pinch your tail off. They stay lit forever.
Yeah.
Or you could take it and smear it on your hand.
You could do that.
I took a youth group to Indiana one time from Colorado. And they spent like, I don't know how long outside at night. They were fascinated by them,
By lightning bugs?
by lightning bugs,
They'd never seen them,
because they had
obviously.
never seen them. Never seen them.
That's funny. You know, it's funny what kids have never seen.
All right, so we're going to put this on our Facebook. We're going to put here's what I'm going to ask you, and then we'll go on to something else. But this is interesting to me because I didn't know it. I didn't know this about you. Top 3 shows you would binge watch if you had the chance. Obviously, Firefly. We're going to put that on there.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. You would binge watch.
Oh, God. Well, I binge watched it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When is the new one coming out? April
14th.
April 14th. There's
set.
like 8 episodes, 6 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
They last a little bit longer. We're going to put this on our Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at A Misanthropic Detour, all one word. If you don't know how to spell it, Google it.
Yeah. I'm sad to say I actually binge watched Sons of Anarchy.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen that a couple times.
It is the most degrading television show to women
Really?
there is. Period.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right. In your opinion.
And my wife's opinion.
Okay.
It is extremely, horrifically degrading to
So
women.
let's put it this way then. 3 shows that you would encourage people. That's the Firefly right there.
That's the Firefly.
It does look like a firefly, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Especially when it, puts its afterburners on
Yeah.
and shows you its ass.
So if we put that A Misanthropic Detour, check us out on Facebook. If we put, these are Benton's 3 top shows that he would encourage people to binge watch.
Yeah, not Sons of Anarchy.
No. Firefly, Game of Thrones, and
Firefly, definitely. Game of Thrones. Man.
see, here's my problem. And this is what my wife complains about all the time. I'm not a person who likes change a lot.
Yeah.
My son is like that as well. And so I end up watching the same things
Big Bang.
over and over. Even though I've watched them 83 million times, I can give you my top 3 right now.
Okay.
Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
The Office,
Okay.
and The West Wing. Those are the 3 that I've seen every episode, at least every episode 9 times.
Yeah, it would have to be either 24 or Big Bang.
Which 24?
Well, all 24.
All of them? There's like 12 seasons.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to binge watch, you have to watch all the seasons.
All the seasons.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Just like Big Bang.
That's like 12 days, 12, 24 hours.
It's worth it. I'd probably pick Big Bang over 24.
Really? You're a Big Bang fan. I like Big Bang.
It's funny.
I liked it at the beginning. I haven't seen it in a while.
I haven't either.
Do you watch Young Sheldon?
Yeah, when everybody starts getting married and kids start popping out.
But do you ever notice this? They haven't showed the kids yet?
Nope, they haven't.
They haven't showed. Have you seen Young Sheldon?
I have seen about 45 seconds of it. I refuse to watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to expose myself a little bit here. Not on YouTube.
Not that anybody cares.
Not that anybody cares.
I wanted to watch Young Sheldon, but
yeah. But this will give you a little bit of insight. I'm the type of person, I can't fall asleep unless I have sound. I have to have sound. So when I go to sleep, I turn something on. Usually Netflix, because it'll keep playing. Every once in a while, this stupid Netflix stops and asks me if I'm still watching it.
Right.
I don't know why it does that, but it does. It's quite upsetting to me. Because I have to have the sound, so when the sound goes off, it wakes me up. And I'm like, Netflix is waking me up to find out if I'm still watching this. And the answer is no, but I want to listen to it. So anyhow, last 4 nights, I can't get away from it. You're like, I'm going to watch something else. And then I just can't get away from it.
Yeah, it was so bad that when I went to bed,
Yeah.
I took my iPad with me.
Yep.
So I could just lay in bed and continue to watch it.
Here's what I've watched the last 4 4 nights. I can't get away from it. Tonight I'll do the same thing. I'll try and put something else on, and I'll have to come back to it. And you can laugh if you want to. I'm stuck on the Andy Griffith Show. I'm
I can-
absolutely stuck on the Andy
I
Griffith
can,
Show.
I can see it.
I've seen it. I've seen every episode probably a bazillion times.
Right. It's like Petticoat Junction.
Okay, yeah.
You've seen
In a way.
Green Acres.
Green Acres.
You've seen them a billion times.
Green Acres. Yes, absolutely.
Hogan's Heroes.
Dude, that's on Me TV
I
every
know.
night at 9
I
and
know.
9:30. I love Hogan's Heroes. Those are all Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
Those are all
F Troop.
the F Troop. Those are all my father's shows.
Oh, those were
Of
those
course,
were my shows. My
Of
dad
course,
didn't care about.
I've watched, but my father. I mean, we watched MASH.
Yeah.
That was
And my dad watched MASH. Hee Haw, Laugh In.
yep.
Oh,
Lawrence Welk on Saturday.
no,
night.
we didn't do
Yeah,
watch.
we got stuck on that.
We didn't
yeah.
do Lawrence Welk. We did the Flip Wilson show.
Absolutely the Flip Wilson show.
The Flip Wilson show, and then Tony Orlando and Dawn.
You bet. You bet. Absolutely. Here's what Saturday night.
We're showing our age.
Here's what Saturday night looked like for me. Hee Haw.
That's bad.
Hee Haw was at like 6 o'clock. That was like
Yeah.
after you got done eating. Then it was like, okay, come in. You've taken your bath. You lay down. Love Boat. Fantasy Island.
I remember Fantasy Island.
Oh, yeah. Remember Love Boat?
Dipolate. Oh yeah.
Love Boat.
I didn't watch Love Boat much.
And then on, I think it was like Wednesday night,
My God, how old was I?
Quincy.
I remember Quincy.
You remember Quincy?
but I didn't watch it very much.
Golly, Jack Klugman,
Yep.
Quincy, The Odd Couple. All I mean, that was it. That was absolutely it. This whole podcast turned into old time TV. Me TV. If you
Yep.
haven't seen it, find it. Me TV.
77 to 87.
Okay, 77 with 80 was more for me.
So 77, I would have been 11.
77, I would have been
I
9.
probably quit watching in 79.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched Quincy, loved The Odd Couple, loved all of those, loved Gomer Pyle, those were the shows right after supper until things came on.
Yeah, until good
Until
stuff came
Happy
on.
Days came on, you know.
Oh yeah,
Laverne and
remember?
Shirley came
Happy
on.
Days, yeah.
That type of thing came on. Those are the Three's Company.
Yep.
Those are the ones that was good TV. Now there's just too much.
Yep.
There's absolutely too much on. There's none. And here's the thing. Really, if you think about it, NBC, ABC, CBS is just all whatever scripted reality or whatever. The Voice, Dancing with the Stars. There's no shows
Right.
except for This Is Us. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Have you seen it?
No. You probably watched the A-Team too, didn't you?
I did watch the A-Team.
And Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. You bet.
I did watch Vice. I watched Miami Vice. I'm not gonna lie.
You had the shirt and the coat, didn't you?
Miami Vice?
Yeah.
No.
You had the white coat, white
No.
pants, pink shirt.
No.
I could see you.
No.
Yeah. You haven't seen This Is Us.
No.
For everybody who's listening, for everybody who's watching.
I'm sure no one's listening
Abs-
after
uh,
after our
you know what? No, this
reminiscing of
this is
our-
not true.
our
This is not true.
70s.
There's going to be people who are listening, and we're going to get emails about this. I know we are. A Misanthropic Detour at gmail.com. Email us. Let us know what shows you watch. You know what? People love to go back. People love to do that. Don't tell me they don't, because they
Yeah.
do.
They do. You know why?
Because it reminds them of days gone by,
Because it reminds them of
their youth,
when it was good.
when it was good, when
Yeah.
there was a white picket fence and a wall and all
and,
kinds of
and
stuff.
your neighbors used to beat everybody's kids all the same, and
That's exactly right.
people didn't talk back to one another. and
Nope.
if they did, you get your face smacked.
That's right. And you can never get away with anything
Yep.
because somebody else's parent would rat on you.
Oh yeah, and
it was-
they call you up and go, "Well, why didn't you whip my kid?"
Exactly. That's exactly right. What happened?
Yep.
What happened?
You should have whipped them both.
What happened from 19? You know what? Here's the other thing that I've been doing.
Lawyers.
maybe. Here's the other thing I've been doing on Netflix, and part of it's CNN. There are the decades: 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I've watched them all. Something went wrong. 70s, we were just whacked out. Yeah, that was. We were like, hey, does anybody have gas? I mean, Carter was president. It was just horrible. Nixon, it's the end of the war. That was bad. The 80s, you know what the title of it is? The 80s, the decade that defined us. That was it. The 80s was it. That was it. Then we got into the 90s, and I don't know what happened there. And in the 2000s, it went bad. It absolutely went bad. My question is this: what happened? What happened? What our parents probably, at least my in-laws, whatever, they will talk about the 50s, and they'll say, why can't it be like the 50s again? I'm not sure what that meant.
I don't either, because the 50s weren't all that great.
No, it was, no.
There was a lot of segregation.
There was segregation. But that gives you an insight, though, and it must have been because it was the end of World War II, in 45, 46, everybody came back, got the little two-bedroom house with the picket fence and all of that. And then you got into the 50s. And then it got into the 60s and things went bad. Everybody, all of the kids that the people had in the 50s, that Greatest Generation, you ever read that book?
Yeah.
Tom Brokaw's Greatest Generation. It's a great book. They had kids, and those were the 60s. And then they started getting older in the 70s, and then they had kids, and that was us. And it didn't get any better than that.
Right.
And then here's the problem. Then we had kids, and now look what happened.
Well, there was a generation 10 to 15 years before us that had kids. And those kids are whacked out.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. I know a few.
So we're children of baby boomers.
We are just barely.
Just barely.
Just barely.
Right.
Anybody, what is the baby boomers? It's from 1940 something to almost 1964.
Right. Here's the scary thing about this. You ready for this? We got 10 minutes left in the show.
Holy shit. Yeah, 1946 to 1964. My dad was born in 40.
Okay, my dad was born in 40 as well.
And so I was born in 66.
And I was born in 68.
Yeah, so those kids who were born, even the people who were born in 1955 to 65,
yeah,
or 55 to 60 maybe,
it's their kids.
Their kids are not the same as the way we grew up.
No.
Yeah, they're not. They're just
because in 56, by the time they're 20 and in their formative whatever, it's 1976, and they're so jaded by what's happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of what happened was, and I had a really good friend who espoused this. Everything just became a throwaway.
What does that mean?
Didn't matter what it was. If the television broke,
oh, I see what you're talking about.
You threw it away.
Yep.
If your camera broke, you threw it away. If your vacuum cleaner broke, you threw it away. Whereas, up until, I'd say, the late 70s, probably to the late 80s, I would say, all the way up to the late 80s. I can remember in the early 80s, my mom and dad picking me up from Mara First Baptist Church.
Yep.
Because I'd been cutting grass there since I was 12 years old, making $3.15 an hour.
Woo!
Yep.
Big bucks.
Riding my bike, not very far, but I was riding my bike up there, cut the grass. It was 9 acres or 11 acres, whatever. It took me 2 or 3 days. My mom and dad pulled up, and they're like, "Hey, we're going home, just letting you know, whatever." And there's a box in the back of the car, and I'm like, "What's that big ass box?" I mean, it was big. It was like 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2 feet high. I'm like, "What is that?" "Well, we bought a microwave." I was
Yeah.
like, "What?
Yeah.
A microwave?" No shit, dude.
Yeah.
That same microwave
Yeah.
that they took to our house on Pleasant Valley Drive
Yeah.
back in the '80s or whatever is still in my mom and dad's house in their
No,
brand new house they built at Lake Spivey
it is not.
let's see, '84. It is still in there running.
No,
Yes. Honest to God, still in there running.
that's not right.
And every time we go home, that same freaking microwave.
Big, like a big vault,
Yeah, oh,
big ass
dude,
vault
yeah,
door that
you would
opens
not.
up.
Oh, you would not want to stand in front of it. I know you're getting freaking, you're getting radiation from it. I'm sure. But what happened shortly after that?
Yeah.
Late '80s or so, everything just became throwaway.
Right.
I mean, like so.
If your microwave's bad, you throw it away and go get a new one.
Yeah, I mean, before that, you would go, "Oh shit, microwave's broke. We'll take it down to
Somebody's going to fix it.
Take it down to Tom,
Yeah.
and take the dishwasher,
Yep.
take the vacuum cleaner, and get it fixed." You wouldn't just go buy another one because you'd run it for 20 years. Go
Right.
down there and pay $40 to get it fixed, and run another 20 years.
Right.
When we moved from our second home to our third home, my mom and dad's third home, my mom and dad, okay, now they had to have been, my dad had to have been close to 50. So they've been married close to 30 years already, was still using my grandmother's aluminum tank vacuum cleaner from 1940s, 1950s.
Yeah, but that's a mentality, though.
It wasn't a mentality. The shit just worked forever.
Well,
It
yeah.
worked for washing machines worked forever. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, it was kind of like Europe was in the '70s about building cars. That's good enough. How's it fit on that? Like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, I think everybody's attitude changed too. Like,
Well, everything
it's
went
good enough.
from metal and steel and went to plastic and all of those things. And that mentality of just I I've experienced that in the Air Force, repairing crypto gear. It used to be we were down to component level, and then it became board level, and then it became unit level.
Right.
Oh, your unit doesn't work anymore. Just put in a new unit. It used to be that we were like, okay, it doesn't work. Find the resistor that's broke.
Right.
And
troubleshoot the board.
Troubleshoot the board.
Repair it.
And repair it.
Hermetically seal it. Put it back in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, just find the board.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's A3. Just okay.
Take-
Order in a new board. Boom.
Yeah.
Now it's just the whole. Oh, your unit's bad. We'll get you a new unit.
Yeah. Because it's cheaper now.
Yeah.
It's cheaper now just to buy a whole board.
Right.
And trash the other one.
Right.
So now you're a parts changer.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Because the price of stuff came down so quickly and it became so cheap to do, it's more productive for you to just change the board than to actually troubleshoot it.
Do me a favor. Do you remember when VCRs came out?
Yeah.
Okay. Google and find out how much a VCR was.
Dude, our VCR had 7 channels on top.
Yeah.
7 channels on bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you open the top,
yeah,
there were 14 channels, 3 switches for each channel, and a potentiometer. So for that channel, you chose UHF, VHF,
right,
or whatever the third thing was. I
Right.
can't remember. And so you would select one of those 3,
Right.
and then you roll that dial
right,
till you found that channel to set it.
right.
Then you go to number 2, UHF, VHF,
Yeah.
whatever. Roll the dial,
Yeah,
roll it, roll
really?
it, roll. Oh yeah.
Do you remember? And we were talking about this. Me and my wife were talking about this the other day. Because we were talking about CDs, and it all started because I was watching a YouTube video of 2 kids they were probably 16, 17 years old, and their grandmother had challenged them to try and figure out how to use a rotary dial phone. And they go for like 15 minutes and all she wanted them to do was she gave them a number and she said, "How would you dial it?" And these kids were absolutely clueless.
Yeah.
They were like, they had no idea that when you rotary dialed that it had to go all the way back.
Right.
I mean, they're just, and sooner or later they became embarrassed because they're like, This is insane. Why would you do that? And so we started talking about VCRs. We started talking about Beta, VHS. Do you remember the ones? And I don't even remember what they were called. Do you remember the ones that look like silver albums?
Laserdisc?
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
And then of course it went to DVDs and then it went to Blu-ray.
Right. Now here's an interesting tidbit, so don't forget what you're going to say.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the average price of a VCR when they came out in 1975, which I didn't realize, I would have never known because we never had enough money to buy one.
Right.
1,000.
No. In today's money or 75 money?
75 money.
No.
$1,000 to $1,400.
Dude, how much is that today?
Okay, but then it said, but the price had fallen significantly, 15% in the past 6 months alone, and now a wide selection sells for $200 to $400, and that's us for the most part.
But still,
here it is in 1982.
Yeah,
Sony carried a list price of $1,400.
5
years later, according to figures compiled by the Electronic Industries Association and Washington-based trade group, the average price to dealers was down to $771 a unit.
How much is that? How much is 771? I'm going to look that up.
In 1982, it dropped to 640 and then to 628 to 528 in 1983. Now, while you're looking up that, an interesting tidbit, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but this is from a person who lived in Chatsworth, California, which is the porn capital of the United States.
Okay, that's good to know.
So when you look at the progression of VHS to Beta to digital to Blu-ray or HD or Laserdisc or whatever it is, the industry that drives the progression of technology for that industry of being able to play back movies was the porn industry.
No kidding.
So if when VCRs came out and everybody was, recording TV shows and they were making movies on them, and then Beta came out and everybody thought Beta was great. It was smaller, the quality was there, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason it didn't actually take over for the VCR market was because the porn industry didn't take it up.
Really?
They stuck with VHS. So when Blu-ray came out, I'll never forget this. I was working at G3. And I'm sitting in there, I got a whole room of engineers around me. We're all talking about Blu-ray and HD because at the time, HD came out first, which was a Microsoft product, high def. And then Blu-ray came out. And so we're all talking about, where are you going to get Blu-ray or HD? And I was like, Blu-ray. Blu-ray sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's different between Blu-ray and HD? Well, technically there wasn't a whole lot different. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a Blu-ray player. And so I bought a PlayStation because not only could I play games and crap on it, I could watch these Blu-rays on it.
Right.
And so Xbox, which was a Windows product, stuck with HD. Well, when I was talking to one of my buddies who lives out in Chatsworth, he worked for us as well. He goes, I'd probably hold off. He said, what'll happen is the porn industry will dictate what actually gets picked up as
no kidding
the norm for recording and playback of digital material. And I'm like, well, I'm going to bet my money on Blu-ray. He's like, okay, but I'm just telling you, you need to wait. I'm like, no, you're flipping a coin. It's 50-50. Sure enough, Blu-ray won out. And, not a year later, he's like, well, you got lucky. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, looks like Blu-ray is going to be the standard for digital recording in high definition.
Really?
Yep. And he goes,
and it's all based on the porn industry.
That's according to him.
Yep. Do you know that $1,000 in 1979 is the same as $14,000 in 2019?
Are you serious?
It's like buying
that probably is about right. Holy shit,
if you go from 1914, look at this. In 1914, $600 is the same as $16,000 in today's money.
600
600 in 2000 or
in 1919.
in 1919.
100 years later, it's
100 years
16,000.
later is 16,000. It's the same as $16,000.
Wow.
So it'd be like paying 14 grand for or about 10 grand, 9 grand
Yeah.
for a VCR. That's what you would have to lay out. Unbelievable.
Well, and I can tell you, my dad didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my mom at that point was probably a secretary at an elementary school.
Yeah. I don't remember us ever having a VCR. I'm
Uh,
sure we did.
We had one.
I'm sure we had one later. I just remember the day that HBO came out. That was it.
I remember MTV when it came out.
I remember MTV when it came out, but I remember HBO. Rocky was the first movie.
See, now hang on.
Yep.
So this says in 1819,
Yeah.
$100 in 1819
Yeah.
is equivalent in purchasing power to $1,900 in 2017.
Then I'm looking at something wrong. I'm looking at a savings then or something. I'm looking at inflation by year. In 1914, I have $666. Inflation in 2019 has boosted it to $16,732.
I don't know, dude.
That's
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
it was a lot of money.
Well, yeah, 600 in 1820 versus 2017. $600 in 1820 is the equivalent in purchasing power to $12,570.
So you're looking at purchasing power. I'm looking at
2017.
inflation.
Yeah.
So it would be more of purchasing power. Unbelievable. $1,000 in 1979 was a lot of money.
Damn right.
I think my mom and dad, 1970 something, bought their house for like $19,000.
Well, I was going to say $1,000 then. Think about it. That was,
yeah,
a serious down payment on a home.
Absolutely.
Serious.
Unbelievable. Been going down the
old home week.
Old home week. That's exactly right. We have 1 minute left. We spent an entire hour.
I don't know how we got off on that shit.
I don't know how we did either, but it was, you know what? It was good for my soul.
Good.
It was absolutely.
Please do not go home and watch The Love Boat.
Do it.
No.
I'm going to. God, that's all I can think about now.
Of all the shows to watch.
The Love Boat. Gavin McLeod? Come on.
Don't do it.
I'm going to do it.
The only good character on that show was Isaac.
I liked Isaac. Go for an Isaac. Go for an Isaac. Doc was good.
Oh,
Captain
man.
Steubing, come on.
Can't do it.
If you have a story that you want to share with us about growing up and what you've been watching, you can email us at amisanthropicdetour@gmail.com. Not sure how we got off on that. Also, check out Benton's suggestions on our Facebook at A Misanthropic Detour that you can binge watch. Tell us what you binge watch. You can't go wrong with Andy Griffith. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
But what about Mayberry RFD?
No, that's crap, and you know it is.
Come
no
on.
good.
Ken Burns?
Nope.
No, not Ken Burns. Ken.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Ken Burns also is fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you seen his latest one, Vietnam?
No.
Dude, you have to see Vietnam. Go on PBS.
All right.
And check out Vietnam. It's absolutely fantastic.
Ken Berry.
Yeah. Ken Berry. We got 30 seconds left. We want to thank you for listening to A Misanthropic Detour. This is what you're going to hear. You're going to hear not this, but some things. Some things make us happy. Some things make us sad. It's fantastic to go down the old road and think about things that used to be, and then complain about things that are today.
Yeah, I think today just kind of made us feel a little human.
I really don't think that in 15, 20 years, our kids are going to be sitting there saying, do you remember that episode of The Bachelor? They're not going to do that.
No, but I guarantee you my kid's going to go, Dad, remember when we used to watch Phineas and Ferb?
Phineas and Ferb. Yep.
I know she will.
Phineas and Ferb. That's exactly right. I can't keep up with all of them now. With my granddaughter and all that. PJ Masks, all that kind of, I don't get them. But you can find us on Facebook at A Misanthropic Detour. You can email us at amisanthropicdetour gmail.com. Find us on YouTube at A Misanthropic Detour and Blog Talk as well. So for Benton Lawson, for myself, thanks for going down the road with us today, looking back. And when you're done with this, no matter where you're at, whether you're in England, Ireland, Scotland, Germany, California, whatever, as soon as you're done, get on Netflix and go watch the YouTube. And when you turn that on, just go to YouTube, type in The Love Boat. You will get. That's where I watch it. Is you? The
I'm
Love
sorry,
Boat.
dude.
If
You should drink more.
If not, check out Firefly. Thanks for listening to it. We'll see you next week on the road. I don't know how